For the travel and tourism industry, the last month of the year was one of great hope. Finally, we had seen a decline of COVID cases, vaccination rates had increased, and pent-up demand had caused a lot of people to finally shed their fears, spend some money, and plan their dream holiday, whether internationally or in India. It also helped that more and more countries started opening up to India after the Delta variant had at least eased off a bit. But the Omicron now threatens to spoil that party completely. We already have anecdotal evidence of bookings being cancelled, of international tourists who were supposed to come in, perhaps postponing their plans. We know that international flights were supposed to open up completely from the 15th of December, but now that has been postponed because of the new variant. What does this mean for the travel industry, which was just about surfacing after 2 years of battering due to COVID-19? To get a sense of that, I'm joined today by Sabina Chopra. She's co-founder and COO, Corporate Travel and Head Industry Relations at Yatra.com. Vishal Suri, MD of SOTC, is with us on the show today. And I'm also speaking with Devendra Parulekar, founder of Saffron Stays. So welcome to all of you and thank you so much for speaking with us. Mr. Suri, let me begin by just getting your perspective of what we've been seeing in the last week or so. The Omicron variant is a relatively new phenomenon, but are you already beginning to see an impact on bookings and on inquiries?
Thank you, Tamanna, for having me over on your show. But let me say that these are very, very early days. And at this point in time, our advice to our travelers is to keep their travel plans unchanged till there is more clarity. And I must submit that we do not have enough data on this new variant as yet. There is a scientific committee which is still working and gathering information. Government is keeping a track. We also at our end are tracking latest updates from the health experts and authorities and closely monitoring the situation. In about a week's time, we believe that we will have a lot more clarity. Some of the reactions that we see are more precautionary in nature at this point in time to avoid anything. But I think things are a lot different on the ground with, like you mentioned, the high vaccination rates, and about 400 million people in India are already fully vaccinated, and close to about 1.2 billion people have been at least given the first dose of vaccine. So at this point in time, we are advising travelers to keep their travel plans. And to specifically answer to your question, these are early days. We do not see any change or any cancellations in the bookings that we are receiving. Yes, there are a lot of customers who are anxious, considering that there is so much being written about this Omicron virus at this stage.
Yeah. So, Ms. Chopra, what has been your experience? Are people at least being more cautious about international travel? Are they continuing with their domestic travel? Or are people now hesitating about taking flights to locations even domestically?
I have not actually to say what Vishal has said. To add to that, it's too early to assess the impact of this variant. Additional waves of the infection or policy responses could lead to travel restrictions and a temporary decline. But right now, we have not seen a decline at the moment, specifically to domestic travel. It is continuing as it was, and we've not seen any reluctance from a customer or a client or a passenger not to travel. So there have been, you can see a fare hike which is there, but it is not because of, it's due to the capacity issues of December travel rather than the virus fear. So even on the hotels, it's a bit too soon to adequately capture the booking data flow right now, but cancellations or amendments are as it used to be earlier. It is that we haven't seen, a serious increase, or there is an increase in cancellation or amendments. Considering, talking specifically of international travel, it was already a challenge where countries were, they have imposed extensive travel restrictions for India. There is no country additional who has in the last 1 week imposed any restrictions on travel from India. So we have not seen any country going forward. What restrictions were there earlier carry on as it is now, but we've not seen any additional, I would say, policies being put in or restrictions being put in for travel from ex-India. We are closely monitoring the situation and are in touch with all our customers and who have bookings to these major destinations. If you see, December travel is one of the major ones for the year-end travel. This is the holiday season for everyone. We've not witnessed any cancellation or fare hikes owing to the new variant. But what we have seen that people in the last 3-4 days are a little wary of making future bookings and are inquiring about cancellation policies as well. So they are being very conscious of the safety protocols at each touch point of the travel. So even if somebody wants to change, which they haven't right now, we will assist them to help to make alternate plans. So what we've seen in future bookings, people who are checking right now are inquiring about cancellation policies very vastly and about the safety protocols and extensively quarantine policies which are there. But no country has added on any travel restrictions right now from TravelX India.
Yeah. Maybe you're right. It is early days and people who've already made bookings will be in wait and watch mode. Mr. Parulekar, is it a good time then for a rebound to, the homestay? Because at the end of the day, that's the formula that worked through the worst months of the pandemic as well, where people thought that drivable distances where you would have one space to yourself rather than maybe a larger hotel is the safer bet. Are you seeing any increase in interest in those kinds of bookings?
Yes, I think you've hit the nail on the head. Every time the threat perception increases because of any impending variant of any of the virus, we've immediately started seeing impact, in some ways positive impact on the villa rental or the vacation rental business. The second thing that happens is travel plans to internationally get impacted, and as a result, there is an impetus definitely on domestic tourism, so domestic circuits, intrastate tourism over interstate tourism. So the more the environment outside is in question or is in doubt, people tend to gravitate towards domestic, towards intrastate, and towards private villas over public spaces or perceived public spaces like hotels. So you are absolutely correct in your assessment.
Okay, Mr. Suri, let's look at the overall trends. Like it was mentioned, December is a big month for the travel industry. It has been quiet for the last year and a half, for nearly 2 years, and things were beginning to pick up. I think around Diwali itself, we had good amount of bookings. What is the overall kind of interest that you're seeing? What are the trends that we can see in terms of how people want to travel and where people want to travel?
So, Tamanna, see, 19 months of restrictions, people working from home, has resulted in a good winter season. And I think, like Sabina and Devin also mentioned, there is a very, very strong desire to travel, especially to the domestic destinations. What we are seeing is, the desire to travel continues to be very, very high. All our surveys, all our engagements with our customers have customers say they want to travel. At this point in time, and considering where we are at this point in time, the domestic destinations which are trending very, very high in a traveler's mind are Goa, Andaman, Rajasthan. And I must say that Rajasthan, there are cities like Udaipur and all also added because of the wedding season that we are in, are completely sold out at this point in time. But Jaipur, Jaisalmer, Kerala is back again now that the things have stabilized in Kerala. Himachal and Kashmir and winter at this point in time are extremely, extremely high on travelers' list. Coming to international travel, and I must submit that we are giving an added protection to our customers to offer flexible date changes, to reschedule their travel. And in case they want to cancel, we will give them an option to travel later. Some of the international destinations that we are seeing, there is a strong demand at Dubai and Abu Dhabi. And Dubai primarily because of multiple sporting events. We had the World Cup T20. We have an expo going on right now with the Dubai Shopping Festival. Abu Dhabi, which is almost like a twin city, is very, very strong demand. Maldives is an all-time favorite. And Maldives has been a favorite over the last 3 or 4 months. But destinations like Egypt and Turkey, Nepal and Sri Lanka. From the booking trends that we have at this point in time, they are very, very highly in demand, and this is where customers want to travel. In terms of preferences, a lot of customers want to travel with their families or extended families, which is essentially friends and relatives. So these are small groups of 10 or 12 people, but essentially they form their own bubbles. Safety is paramount, and like my fellow panelists mentioned that earlier, a lot of customers want that peace of mind. So some of the things like a COVID insurance policy, which is bundled with the package, gives customers a lot of comfort. We've also negotiated with our insurance partners to make sure that the customers get, in case of an eventuality, they also get a hotel quarantine, which is also covered as a part of their insurance cover. So all of these things, companies like ours are doing these things to make sure the traveler is at ease. And if he travels in a group, there are other co-travelers are all vaccinated. The staff and our staff, as well as the people who drive them around or the hotels that they check in, everybody is vaccinated. So safety is on top of mind. And we have an umbrella safety program which we are communicating to our customers. It's in partnership with Apollo Clinics, which is a very large and a very prestigious name in healthcare. And our program is called Trav Shield, and which essentially covers the aspects that I mentioned, which is the flexible booking options for customers to reschedule or change dates if required. It gives them insurance covers, 24/7 doctor on call services. So, and they obviously have the peace of mind that they will be engaging with people who are completely vaccinated at this point in time. Yes, Omicron has created that level of anxiety. There are queries around that, but like I said earlier, we are advising all our customers and the people who are inquiring with us to keep their travel plans unchanged as yet, because the verdict is not out as yet. And as and when it is out, we will be the ones who will actually give them the accurate advice which is required for them to decide on their travel.
Ms. Chopra, what kind of interest are you seeing in travel plans, of course, for the year end? Have we seen prices going up, bookings going up, especially in some of the destinations that Vishal spoke about as well, which are your popular destinations, your Kerala, Goa, etc.? Has it become more expensive to travel here? And will the fact that possibly foreign tourists, inbound tourists won't make it for this period, will that change the dynamics on ground?
Don't think any dynamics will change. The destinations that Vishal has mentioned are already sold out. So there are very few room nights available, and we've not seen any cancellations for these kind of bookings at all. While this variant has added new uncertainties in the travel industry. We were in the recovery mode, and the new variant has brought in unconcern. But we really need to understand it better, the effect of the variant. I really feel that there has been no research on this right now, full research, and I doubt whether it will affect this December month bookings, at least for domestic travel. When I talk about inbound customers coming in, there were very few customers coming in at all. The domestic travel had completely surged and taken over the international travel, which would have come inside the country. So I don't think there will be, I doubt there will be any change in the booking plan or anybody cancelling these bookings, because they've got it after, a real lot of research. They've been blocking it in the last 2-3 months. I don't see we'll have any changes in the plan. The rates are very high at the moment in all the, locations that Vishal has mentioned. Almost every destination, may it be, Kashmir, Manali, even the winter destinations down to Goa, Kodaikanal, Kerala, everything is full at the moment. So it's a nice thing for the travel industry after, 18 months or almost 2 years, we've seen this spike coming in travel bookings.
Yeah, of course. But when you say prices have gone up, by how much? Give us a ballpark sort of idea of how much more expensive it has become to plan, a getaway at the end of this year.
The hotel, while the airlines rates have already gone up, you've seen that, especially to leisure destinations, by almost 20 to 30%. The hotel bookings have gone up by 100%. So if there's a hotel which was there for 5,000 rupees earlier selling, is now at 10,000 or even more than that, or not available at all. So the issue is availability right now. Even then, the rates are skyrocketed through the sky. I mean, they are completely crazy at the moment, and whatever is available is even being sold as of now. So it's almost on the hotel side is almost double, which is there. I mean, we've seen this trend after a long time.
Devendra, what are the fears for the industry looking forward, even for domestic travel? We don't know what is happening with the Omicron so far, but we don't know that it spreads fast. And we are already seeing the first round of reactions from policymakers, which is to enforce travel restrictions or make it more difficult for people to travel more easily. Are you concerned that this will cloud the next quarter, at least, or the next 3 to 4 months?
So we are all living in uncertain times. I think the best thing that has happened in the last 2 quarters is that India has rapidly vaccinated its population, right? And whatever variant comes, I think as long as the populations are vaccinated or double vaccinated, you will find the impact of the variant or the virus would be minimized to that extent, right? So if I have to say this in so many words, as a human race, we have to start learning to live with the virus, coexist with the virus. And as long as this pandemic is no longer a pandemic, but treated like an epidemic, and managed within the and managed like an epidemic, I think the life will go on. All of us will work our way around it. So as long as all the safety protocols, doctors on call, insurance, all of those are put into measure. I think the next 2 or 3 years, forget the next quarter, I think the next 2 or 3 years, we will have to continue living in this kind of a slightly uncertain environment. And as an industry, the travel industry, hospitality industry has to learn to cope with this uncertainty and create its own mechanisms of assuring its guests and assuring its stakeholders that this is the way to go. Yeah, so we got to live with this now.
We have to live with it. We have to find a way around it while being safe. The Omicron may be a dampener to the revival of the industry, but at least the surge in domestic interest has stayed up for now. Let me caveat this by saying these are early days. We still have to figure out the virulence of this, whether vaccinations will prevent it, whether we need additional vaccinations. All of that has to still fall in place. And so the entire industry and travelers are in wait and watch mode. Thank you so much to all of you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tamara.
Yeah, bye-bye.